back. So what we're looking at today is 4.7, which is cafeteria consumption and costs. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So what we're looking at in this first section is creating tables from graphs. So for each of the given functions, either explicit or recursive, find the missing values in the table. Use the explicit rules and equations as a tool to find the values. If you are not given the explicit rule, you might consider creating it to help you with your work. So we're going to look at number 1. We have negative 2x plus 7. So we're given 3 different x values. So we're going to plug each one of those into the equation to find what the f of x value is, or the y value. So if we take negative 2 times negative 3 and we add 7 to it, negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. Positive 6 plus 7 gives us, gives us 13. Now, if we plug a 0 in, negative 2 times 0 plus 7. Negative 2 times 0 is just 0. So 0 plus 7 is 7. And then the last one, we have negative 2 times 21 plus 7. Negative 2 times 21 is negative 42 plus 7. Negative 42 plus 7 is a negative 35. Now, for the last one, we don't know the x value, but we know the f of x value. So what that means is we're going to set the equation equal to 43 and then solve for our x value. So going back and forth between the two. So we're going to have 43 equals negative 2x plus 7. We subtract the 7. 43 minus 7 is going to give us 36 equals negative 2x. We divide by negative 2. So 36 divided by negative 2 is negative 18. So our x value is negative 18. So negative 18 gives us a positive 43 for an output. So the ones where you're given the f of x value, all that means is in place of the f of x, you're putting 43 and then solving for x. So it's just the reverse of what you did with the others. All right, for number 3, notice it's not the explicit equation. It's the recursive. So this is saying now equals previous plus 6, and that the first term is negative 13. So using this, we can create the explicit equation. We have a point, negative 13, and we have the slope, which is 6. So point slope form is y equals m times x minus x1 plus y1. So our equation will be y equals 6 times x minus 1 minus 13. So we can simplify this. We'll end up with y equals 6x. We distribute the 6 to the negative 1. So we have negative 6 minus 13. And that's going to give us a negative 19. So now we have y equals 6x minus 19. We do the same thing. 6 times 3 is 18. Minus 19 is negative 1. 6 times 15 is what we do next. And 6 times 15 is 90. Minus 19 is going to give us 71. Now, for the next two, now we have 2 of them that we have the h of x value. So that means we're going to do 5 equals 6x minus 19. So we add the 19, add the 19. So 5 plus 19 is going to give us 24 equals 6x. Divide by 6. So it equals 4, because 24 divided by 6 is 4. Now we do the same thing with the 23. So we're going to set our equation equal to 23. So 23 equals, we add the 19. So 23 plus 19 is going to give us 42 equals 6x, divide by 6, divide by 6. So 7 is our answer. So that's what you guys are doing for this section. All right. The next thing we're looking at, organizing information in matrices. So we're going to be looking at matrices today. Elvira has been running a private catering business to make extra money. She needs some help organizing the information in problems 7 through 10 below so that she can better predict the amounts to purchase and improve her profits. Assist her by organizing the information in a meaningful way so that she can average the years and do better for the coming year. The last 3 years, Elvira has catered family gatherings and city events. Last year, she provided the following at family gatherings she catered: 5 bags of chips, 6 dozen cookies, and 4 gallons of drink. Last year at city events, she provided the following: 16 bags of chips, 20 gallons of drink, and 24 dozen cookies. Organize this information. So what we're going to do is organize it in a matrix. So matrix is your key word for this lesson. So we've got family events, and we have city events. Even though they call them city gatherings, we're going to call them events. So here's our matrix. We've got bags of chips. We've got, oops, I'll write chips instead of bags. Chips, cookies, and drink. So the 3 things that she's providing that we're looking at. So now we look at family events. She had 5 bags of chips. For cookies, she had 6 dozen. And for drink, she had 4. For the city events, she had 16 for chips, 20 gallons of drink, and 24 dozen cookies. So what you have to do is make sure that you put them in the right places. So with the city events, they were in a different order. So we have to make sure we put chips with chips, cookies with cookies, drink with drink. This is your answer. This is a matrix. This organizes the information. All right. 2 years ago, Elvira provided the following at family events: 5 gallons of drink, 4 bags of chips, and 5 dozen cookies, while she provided the following at city events: 20 dozen cookies, 18 gallons of drink, and 12 bags of chips. We're making a matrix. So we're going to have family, and we want to keep all of these matrices the exact same. So family events, city events, we're going to put, chips, chips, cookies, and drink. Random weird line, ignore that. And then we fill in the information. So for family events, there was 5 gallons of drink. There were 4 bags of chips, and there were 5 dozen cookies. You guys will do the city events, so make sure you put them in the appropriate places. 3 years ago, Elvira provided the following at city events: 14 bags of chips, 20 gallons of drink, so on and so forth. So same idea. Family, because all 3 of these problems go together to give us our last problem. So we want to have them all in the same order and set up the same way. That's the key thing with matrices, is we want to have it nice and organized. So we do chips, then cookies, and then drink. So city events, or family gatherings, 6 bags of chips, 7 dozen cookies, and 9 gallons of drink. You guys will do the city events. Now for number 10. If you provide Elvira with an average amount to be ordered for the gatherings and city events she caters in the coming year, how much of each item would she need? Present the average in an organized way. So what this means is we're going to take all the values for family events for chips. So we have 6 in year 3, 4 in year 2, and 5 in last year, year 1. So we're going to add those together. So 5 plus 4 plus 6. So we end up with 15. We divide that by 3 because we're finding the average. So family events, chips, 3. So remember, finding the average. Add all, divide how many. So now we look at cookies. We had 7 and 5 and 6. So we have 18 total. There are 3 of them. So 18 divided by 3 is 6 for cookies. 15 divided by 3 gave us our chips. And then for the drink, we have 9, 5, and 4. So we end up with another 18 there. So 18 divided by 3 gives us 6 for drinks. So those are our averages. So you have to find the average. So now you guys will take and do the city events. So you already know the number of chips for the first one. You do it for the second and third, add those all together, divide by 3, okay? So remember, matrix is your key word for this lesson. All right, arithmetic and geometric sequences. So remember sequences from the beginning of the year. For each sequence below, determine whether it's either arithmetic or geometric and find both the recursive and explicit rules. So for number 11, 1, 3, 5, 7. Are we adding or subtracting? Or are we adding or multiplying to get between these? We are adding, which means it's arithmetic. What are we adding by? 2. So now equals previous plus 2. So then our explicit equation, f of n equals 2n, because remember this number here will always be attached to our n. And then we have to find the 0 term. So this is our first term. So 1 minus 2 is -1. So 0 term is needed on arithmetic sequences, but not on geometric. All right, for number 14, we've got time and days and bacteria. We're going 5, 8, 12.8, 20.48. Are we going adding by something each time or multiplying? We are multiplying. Now, at first glance, you may not know what we are multiplying by, but if we take 8 and divide it by 5, we end up with 1.6. If we take 12.8 and divide it by 8, we'll also end up with 1.6. So 1.6 is our multiplier. So then we're explicit, f of n equals, we could take any one of our numbers. I'll use 5. So 5 times 1.6 to the n minus 1. So that's how we do our explicit geometric. All right, number 15. Elvira likes to exercise in her spare time. She has been running. The first days she went running, she did 1,000 yards. She has been running an additional 50 yards each day she works out. So is this arithmetic or geometric? Are we adding or are we multiplying? We are adding because she's only going up 50 each day. So now equals previous, plus 50, plus 50. And so our explicit f of n equals 50n plus, we subtract 50 from 1,000, we'd end up with 950. All right, so remember, we've done these before. You guys have lots of experience with these. Geometric means multiplying, arithmetic means adding or subtracting. Geometric can also be dividing if we're dealing with a fraction. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a great day. Bye, guys.